Hello, Wayne State, English 3060, awesome students. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to week 11. I know I sent out a message yesterday through Canvas, Canvas announcement, I guess, and told you I wanted to look over project 3 needs assessment memo. I've done that. I'll go back and look at the, get more detailed. Of course, I'll provide feedback and start actually, grading them, give you an opportunity to kind of assess and think about where you're at. All sounded really good. I'm really enjoying the specificity. I love how you're thinking about questions for surveys, how you might perform secondary research, how even new ways that you're imagining how to think about reimagining, I should say, primary research, with us not wanting to do, we're not going to do, the one-on-one personal interviews, at least in the sense of meeting somebody somewhere face-to-face. We might think about those in this kind of space, right? A Google Meet or a Zoom. A lot of the teams are trying to get those accomplished and realize, I understand with where we are right now and what's going on in the world, those may be more challenging. And a lot of the teams, with that being said, are looking at ways of primary research, as we've talked about in previous videos, direct information from a website, from the organization, from the institution, company. Also thinking about maybe customer feedback areas, places, locations where the stakeholders involved may have an opportunity to perhaps express certain things, right, ideas, concepts, or whatever. So really appreciate the ingenuity and creativity with which you are looking at your projects. So for this week, thinking about projects 4B and 4A, I know we started talking about them last week. Project 3 was still taking up a lot of our time last week, as we discussed. So project, just kind of reiterate, project 4B is kind of like the primary thing that we're doing with the new technology. So we decide on a new technology that's not PowerPoint, it's not Google Slide, preferably not Prezi. However, if no one in your group has used Prezi, as I've said before, that becomes an option. And I've also added 5 alternatives to PowerPoint, Google Slides, and even Prezi, because Prezi we're aware of. I have personal experience with Canva, eMaze, and SlideBeam. Those provide some interesting affordances, as well as some other limitations that you might find interesting. Use the new technology to complete 4B. So you kind of do 4B. I would recommend doing 4B first. Then you use that experience of putting 4B together with the new technology to then think about how we evaluate that new technology for 4A. So I hope that makes sense. So I kind of reiterated that here for what we're working on this week. Please do recall last week we dove into projects 4A and 4B. We looked at the sample of especially the technology review or assessment or evaluation, excuse me. And we looked at 4B a little more specifically. I did want to highlight a few items here on the project 4B, because while we're not presenting this in class and obviously fielding questions, because a lot of the progress report gives us an opportunity, especially in an oral setting, to run through our progress report, or present our progress on our report, what we're working towards, what we've done, what we still need to do, things that are kind of already in process, what's left to do, who's going to be doing what. Gives an opportunity for stakeholders at that moment to then ask questions. And so we don't have that necessarily that golden opportunity or that moment to receive that. So the feedback you'll get will kind of come later. You make the presentation. Obviously, I will be the audience kind of in a way in this setting, and then provide maybe some feedback. But there is this idea, this task, if you will, of the elevator pitch or elevator test or the elevator pitch, where the first 45 to 60 seconds of your presentation, one of you, who you select in your team, will give this condensed version to help us practice conciseness, as well as then when you get to the body of your presentation, each one of the slides, we want to kind of keep them down to fewer than 6 words, and really have us, what this helps us do is focus in on what we're doing very specifically, so that we don't have a lot of words, right? And I think I recall a lot of the feedback I gave you before had to do with that. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in part 2 of kind of our week 11 tasks and things that we're thinking about. So I'll be back with you in just a few seconds. Bye now.